All right, let's dive into something that's quietly running the show behind every job application, every promotion, and every successful team. We're talking about the often overlooked but absolutely essential world of soft skills.
I mean, think about it for a second. We all spend so much time and energy getting the right degrees, learning the technical stuff, and stacking up certifications. But are those the only things that decide who really gets ahead? Well, it turns out the answer is a big no. There's something else, something much more fundamental going on. And look, this isn't just a gut feeling, it's a massive economic wave. Get this, a really detailed study out of Australia predicts that by 2030, a staggering two-thirds of all jobs will be soft skill intensive. That's not just a small trend, that's a complete revolution in what the workplace values. The future isn't just about what you know, it's about how you work with what you know. So, what this all means is that we're basically entering what you could call a soft skills economy. And this isn't about, just being nice to people at the water cooler. It's about real, tangible value that drives productivity, sparks innovation, and seriously impacts the bottom line. The difference is actually pretty simple. You've got your hard skills, things like coding or accounting or knowing a foreign language. They're concrete, you can teach them, and they're what get your resume past the first filter. But then you have soft skills. Communication, teamwork, being adaptable. These are the skills that nail the interview, make you thrive in a team, and ultimately get you that promotion.
And let's talk about the money, because it matters. Research is showing a direct, undeniable link between strong soft skills and bigger paychecks. In fact, a 2016 study by a researcher named Belkar found that the financial return on soft skills is just as big as it is for hard skills. And even better, these returns tend to be more gender neutral, which helps level the playing field for everyone.
Okay, so what exactly are these soft skills? I get it. The term itself can feel kind of fluffy, like some vague corporate buzzword. So let's decode it. Let's break it down into something we can actually work with. So at their heart, soft skills are really just a powerful combination of how you manage yourself and how you interact with others. I'd like to think of them as your professional operating system. They're those invisible qualities, like how you handle stress or collaborate on a project, that really dictate how you perform in any job, no matter the industry. To make this even easier to grasp, we can sort them into four main buckets. First up, you've got communication. Pretty straightforward, right? It's how well you share and receive information. Then there's teamwork, your ability to work with others to hit a common goal. Third is problem solving, how you use what you know to figure things out. And finally, the big one, emotional intelligence, which is all about understanding and managing emotions in yourself and in the people around you. And inside these pillars are the skills we actually use every single day. Things like active listening or navigating disagreements, that's communication and teamwork in action. Being able to adapt to change or show empathy, that's your emotional intelligence at work. And critical thinking and creativity, those are the engines that power all your problem solving. See, these aren't just abstract concepts, they're real, practical abilities. Okay, so this brings us to the million-dollar question. Can you actually learn this stuff? There's this common myth that you're either born a great communicator or you're just not. But that's just not true. You absolutely can, and you absolutely should work on developing these skills intentionally. I think a guide from the Office of Disability Employment Policies says it best. You can't really have success without failure. Learning to develop soft skills isn't about being perfect all the time. It's about building resilience. It's about learning how to get back up when you get knocked down. I absolutely love this analogy. When you hit a wall, are you a superball or a raw egg? A superball hits that wall and bounces right back, maybe even with more energy than before. But a raw egg, it just splatters. The goal is to be the superball, to see challenges not as the end of the road, but as a chance to bounce back even stronger. And we can learn these skills through real, structured practice. I mean, take something as complex as making an ethical decision. You can actually break it down into a clear, four-step process. First, define the problem. Then get your facts straight. After that, map out a few possible solutions and their consequences. And finally, decide on your plan and act. It proves that even the softest skills can be learned in a systematic way. But okay, if you can learn them, how on earth do you measure them? This is a huge challenge for everybody, from job seekers to big corporations. How do you put a number on something that you can't just plug into a spreadsheet? It's a seriously tricky question, isn't it? How do you quantify someone's empathy or their ability to collaborate? It's not like measuring how many words per minute someone can type. But believe it or not, There are actual methods people use to try and do just that.
Researchers have come up with a few main approaches. You've got self-ratings, where you basically score yourself. There are also others ratings, where your boss or your teammates give you feedback. Then you have things like situational tests, which give you a hypothetical problem and see how you'd handle it. And finally, there are performance measures, which are specific tests for skills like critical thinking.
But here's the catch. Every single one of these methods has its flaws. The absolute biggest problem, especially with self-ratings, is what experts call the faking problem. Let's be honest. If you're applying for a job, you're probably going to give the answers you think the hiring manager wants to hear, not necessarily the brutally honest truth about your skills.
So, after going through all of this, what's the one big thing to take away? I think it's that we need to completely change how we think about these skills. We have to stop thinking of them as soft, because that word implies they're weak or less important, and they are anything but.
So let's just call them what they really are. Power skills, because that's what they do. They give you power. They are the abilities that take all your technical knowledge and amplify it. They're what turn a good employee into a great leader. They're what make you truly, deeply indispensable to any team.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Now that you know what these skills are, why they're so critical, and that you can actually develop them, the only real question left is, which power skill are you going to start building first?